Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Ad Hoc River Committee. I want to thank you all for being here. We do have a couple of points of business, but for me this is more ceremonial in nature and saying thank you for all your hard work. I don't believe Councilor LaBonge is going to make it. I think he was going to try, but I think he's tied up somewhere. Okay, he's in an important meeting. Councilor Weezer won't be here today as well. So let's just go through the agenda. And
okay. Mr. Chair, Rafael Prieto with the CLA's office. You have a 3-item agenda. Item number 1 relates to presentation of certificates of appreciation to city staff for Los Angeles River efforts. Item number 2 relates to Planning Department report and Bureau of Engineering report relative to the Los Angeles River projects, status of. And number 3 relates to DWP report relative to status of LA River issues as well. And under number 3, I'd like to request if you're okay with Bureau of Sanitation provide a report as well as Department of Recreation and Parks.
okay, great. So let's do item 2. So we can take care of the more of the business side of it and do the reports.
Okay. Planning Department report and Bureau of Engineering report relative to Los Angeles River project.
Great. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Councilman. I'm Claire Bowen with City Planning. Very happy to be here this afternoon for this Ad Hoc River Committee meeting. We were in Council on Tuesday, as you know, for the Cornfield Arroyo Seco specific plan, and we're looking forward to tomorrow's hopeful adoption. So I think will be a wonderful milestone. And as you know, we were not able to get the RIO, the River Improvement Overlay District, approved before you left, but I am very confident we will have the opportunity to have it adopted in the next 6 months. And so your work on that and your legacy will be remembered at that moment.
Well, thank you.
I'm also pleased this afternoon to introduce a river sister who has been working on the Northeast LA plan. So I want to let her talk about that, but she's really going to be kind of carrying on a lot of the river activities that I've been working on the last number of years.
Fantastic.
Hi, my name is Christine Sapanera from City Planning, and as Claire said, we're working really hard on the Nila River Plan. We have a couple of team members here today, George Villanueva and John Yonai and Gerardo Rubalcaba from CDD, and we just kind of like to tell you a little bit about this project because it's so exciting and
wonderful.
So great.
Please.
Yeah, first we just wanted to thank you, Councilmember Reyes. I'm George Villanueva, project manager, and also Lupe Villa and Jill Soriel for very much helping to lead the effort to save this HUD grant. It's a $2.25 million grant. Thank our city agencies, Community Development Department in leading it, BOE, DOT, Department of City Planning, also Workforce Investment Board, also the LA Economic Development Corporation, USC Annenberg Metamorphosis Project, UEPI from Occidental College, KCT Departures, LA Conservation Corps, LA River Revitalization Corporation, who's one of our partners as well, National Park Service, and Tierra West Advisors. So we're very much in the process of engaging the community now in the 5 neighborhoods of Atwater Village, Elysian Valley, Cypress Park, Lincoln Heights, and also Elysian Valley to think about the river and connect a lot of future sustainable development to the neighborhoods in around the river. We have a set of 5 different policy engagement workshops. The schedule's there in the back, and we're in the process of developing a set of economic development recommendations and also a specific vision plan that the planning department's leading to really carry out this effort and make it a model for sustainable and collaborative planning for the rest of the region as well. Thanks.
Great. In terms of products, let's move 5 years from today, and the window is closing now on the grant process. The actual meetings have occurred. What do you think we will be able to see? Is there anything specific in terms of improvements that will result in real products?
Hi, so what we hope to see is, what we're working on is a big project that includes an economic development portion, a vision plan, just several different basically information for this area and assessment of what the strengths and weaknesses are for this area. And hopefully what we like to see is an investment priorities project, and showing future council members, future leaders, future investors, what this area means and what it could become. So this is essentially a blueprint for the next 20 to 50 years. Hopefully things will happen quicker as funding becomes more available. We will have projects, catalytic projects within the document, and discuss that in some in short detail, but basically encouraging future development along the river and setting the stage now for what the Northeast LA will look like.
Great.
Also, one other thing is we'll also have a set of different type of prototype projects, both along the river in terms of improved access ways, and also in the 5 different neighborhoods that will serve as design projects that would be shovel ready, that we'll be looking for implementation funds for. We're also coming up with a finance and implementation plan that really will try to map out some financing mechanisms post a CRA and post the redevelopment agency that really takes into consideration the new landscape of how the economic development department within the city is being shaped. So we're hoping to also kind of create financing plans as well.
Could this be used to emphasize the timing of the report that we've been waiting from the Army Corps, so that the Army Corps report can give us greater specificity as to where or how we could penetrate the walls of the canal and do the improvements that people have been speaking to?
John, you and I with Tier West, we had been hoping that we could develop a plan that was simultaneous with the Army Corps, but their schedule is a little bit off from ours. The completion of our efforts will be approximately March, April of next year, and we're not sure if we'll have that information back from the Army Corps, but I think Michael can better address that.
Yeah, Councilman Reyes, this is Mike Affelt from the Bureau of Engineering, and one of the things I will report on in just a moment is the status of the Army Corps study. But I think plans like the NELA Collaborative's plan will live on, and when we get to the design phase in the Army Corps project, when we get down to the details, and we absolutely will be incorporating the plans and projects that have been laid out by others and making sure that they are part of the project that eventually gets built.
Could we use this as an example of the urgency we have, and that we're already allotting federal dollars to the area, and the federal dollars could be maximized in their use if we had a plan in place, so they don't continue pushing the plan further out? This is 2 years late now, and for different reasons, but the emphasis is what I'm trying to suggest, that we use the allotment of these federal funds as a way to encourage a quicker turnaround. I know it's my second to last day, but I'm going to advocate to the last hour.
Yes.
But if it's something we could leverage in that context, I would highly recommend that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Do you have any more questions?
No, that's fine. Thank you again. Thank you for your hard work. And I'll be a constituent now from Northeast LA as well as the city. So I'm not going far. I'll be visiting meetings, and I want to make sure that we don't lose focus as a constituent. So I'll be the boss of the elected officials as well. And I'll be joining you guys. Anything else? Sorry? Okay, wow. So they can't kick me out if I show up, right? I have an invitation. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for your hard work. You're taking it to the next level, so thank you so much. We have a speaker card here.
Yeah, but actually, yeah, we'll still have his report. Myself from the Bureau of Engineering report. Okay. Yeah. Councilman Reyes, Mike Affelt from the Bureau of Engineering for our report. And I'm here on behalf of my boss, Carol Armstrong, as well as Deborah Weintraub and Gary Lee Moore. Unfortunately, they could not be here today, but they send their sincerest thank you and heartfelt gratitude for your leadership and this committee's leadership over the years.
Thank you.
So I would like to give an update on the Army Corps study, the Ecosystem Restoration Feasibility Study. We had the second of two alternative formulation briefings on Tuesday. On June 13th was the first, and on the 25th was our second. In these meetings, this is really the culminating point of choosing which direction the study is going to go in and recommending a path forward. There's an array of 4 plans in the final array. The numbers are 10, 13, 16, and 20 for reference, and they kind of go small to medium to large. The local LA district of the core and the city is very, very strongly believes that alternative 20, which happens to be the largest of this array, is the plan that makes sense for the river, and it would expand Taylor Yard, Piggyback Yard. It would restore the confluence of the Verdugo Wash and make a wetlands connection at the State Historic Park. We are grateful to our colleagues at the Corps for getting us to this point, and we're really happy with all the progress that's been made. What we are less happy about is that the headquarters reviewers have focused their recommendation in on alternative 13, which is a smaller plan. And while it definitely would create many good changes for the river, we think it doesn't go far enough. We think that alternative 16 or alternative 20 really that's the path forward and makes the most sense investing in this area. So they are focused in on 13, but we still think there is an opportunity, and we've been working night and day these recent weeks and days, and we will continue in the upcoming week. We still think there's an opportunity to reach to the top of the organization and perhaps find some sympathetic ears to our argument and make our case better and more strongly. And that's what we're working on right now.
So let me ask you a political question,
Sure.
which it makes you nervous, I know. But given that the mayor-elect will be in office next week,
Yes.
how narrow is our window to advocate with the new administration in regards to the preference that we seek as opposed to what the Army Corps suggests?
Our window of opportunity is dictated by we're shooting to, our aim is to have a chief's report by the end of 2013. And there are several reasons for this, but the top of which is we want to be included in the next WRDA bill, the Water Resources Development Act. So tracking back from that, we need to be going public in July with the EIS-EIR, which means that this decision needs to be made inside of the next week and a half, 2 weeks. That's our window, and we welcome support from every part of the city and our friends.
Would it make a difference if our senators and our Congress members requested?
I think it will, and it has, and to my knowledge, their offices are engaged fully.
They are?
Yes.
Okay.
We're full steam ahead.
Okay. Perhaps I can have a better sense of what is and what isn't after the meeting, if not
Absolutely.
today, tomorrow,
Absolutely.
sometime.
More than happy to.
If not Monday, I'll come in, I'll volunteer.
Yeah.
But it's something that we can't let go. And this is the moment. So
Absolutely.
let's just play this out. Let's say they get their priorities granted as they see them. How long will we be stuck? Or how rigid is it to stay within their framework versus what we would desire and maybe change later? Is that possible?
Under the Corps system, there is an opportunity for a local sponsor, that being the city, to add in elements that aren't selected, but then we would bear the full cost rather than sharing the cost with the federal government. So it's not an avenue that we wish to pursue. What we want is agreement and partnership, but it's not off. It is definitely a possibility in their system, but not something we would want to pursue.
It's an economic issue.
Yeah. So, and that's the substance of my update, and I'd just like to
That was
reiterate.
a big one.
Pardon me?
That's a big pivotal
Yes.
step.
Did you have any more questions?
No, I'm just. The good, I think, is that we're here, that we actually have these choices. I think the downside is that they're giving us the Volkswagen version. We should be fighting for the Cadillac, and we deserve it. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't use those kinds of analogies. But the question is, can we get to the scenario that has the greatest return from a systems point of view? Because we are touching every key portion of the river as it behaves now, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
We are working very hard to try to get to the scenario that we think is the best path forward, and things are changing hour by hour and I think I'd be happy to go over it in more detail. It would take.
Yes.
I could really talk about it for all day.
No, we got people in the audience that are saying, I want to beat the traffic going home,
Right.
so. Okay.
But with that, let me please just reiterate our gratitude for the leadership of this committee and your leadership on behalf of the city engineer and my staff. And thank you to all our friends here in the room, Lupe Vela, Jill Sorial, my colleague Megan Whalen, everyone else here. Thank you so much. And thank you, Councilman Reyes.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you for your hard work. It's really appreciated. Thank you. So we go public comment card?
Yes.
Okay. We do have one card here. Deborah Meadows. You've been waiting patiently?
Yes, this will be brief. I'm serving on the Los Angeles River Artists and Business Association Neighborhood Improvement Area in the Arts District, Councilman Weezar's area. And in the past monthly meeting in March, we unanimously voted to support efforts toward developing a walking cycling path along the Arts District portion of the LA River that could be connected up to the larger pathway system.
Great.
And toward that end, we formed a committee of which I co-chair, and many people have preceded us in these efforts. So we're right now at an information gathering stage, and we've met with Carol Armstrong and people in the Friends of LA River and the LA River Revitalization Corps, and we're going forward from there. So we're taking little steps, and I think that's consistent with the nature of this committee and where it would go in the future.
So where is the beginning? If there's a street marker or a landmark that you can point to, where would it begin and where would it end?
We've been looking at First Street Bridge to Olympic Boulevard Bridge.
Oh, okay. And talking about the embankment along the edge?
Yes, or possibly something that's in the channel.
Okay.
And we're also studying avidly how the LA River Revitalization Plan of 2007 will intersect with the 6th Street Bridge redesign, and so there's quite a bit going on there.
Well, my understanding is most of the bridges have been analyzed to create connectivity to the bike path and or to pedestrians. And it seems that the designs do reflect that, and the construction is revealing that. So it's a very timely effort. And you're right, it won't happen overnight, but incrementally you just chip away and you'll see something beautiful form. So hang in there, and kudos to you and the team in taking on that task, because I think it's a very viable one.
Thank you for the encouragement.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. Does that cover item 2?
Yeah. That's number 2. We'd like to recommend note and file for any actual reports on.
Note and file, as recommended.
Item number 3, DRP report relative to the status of LA River issues and projects.
Okay. Item 3?
And we also have under this item Bureau Sanitation, Rec and Parks.
Great.
Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Councilman. It's Wendy Yancey, Water and Power. I'm
Okay,
usually
they
not
send the
face you
big
see.
guns.
I'm sorry?
They send in the big guns, huh?
I was going to say, I'm usually not the face you see in your
I know.
committee, but it actually gives me great pleasure to be here today. We, though I noticed this report, this relationship as it relates to the maintenance of the river started in 2009, and be assured that we will continue the 45-day cycle to maintain that right-of-way. But I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you and let you know how much I've appreciated working with you over the years on LA River et al., and with some members of your staff. Jill and Lupe. And so I've just really had a really great opportunity working with you all. And on behalf of Ron Nichols, the general manager, Kelly Bernard, the director of economic development, as well as Aaron Benjamin, the head of the power system, who's right of way, they're maintaining on a regular basis now. I just want to thank you for your work and working with us on this.
No, thank you. And we have a certificate for, I believe it's, well, can we, for Kelly?
And
Yeah, we do have one for her, so can you hang out for a little bit?
I definitely will.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time, and it's been an honor and a pleasure to work with you as well. I think we go back a few years, but we won't talk about that, right? Okay. Our next.
Follow up, we have Steve Nikaido and Adele Hedgekhalil from the Bureau of Sanitation.
Good afternoon, Steve Nikaido with the Bureau of Sanitation. I'm pleased to be here this afternoon just to provide a quick update as we close out the fiscal year on some of the Bureau of Sanitation's activities related to the LA River. Recently, this month, we held our annual stakeholder meeting for the 5-year update for the Water Integrated Resources Plan. It's just a brief stakeholders on our approach and the plan update that's unifying our management of wastewater, water, and urban runoff. As part of that update, the plan included discussions of, make sure I get this right, the LA River Revitalization Master Plan, the LA River other projects and policies as far as revitalizing the river, the U.S. Army Corps' of Engineers Los Angeles River Ecosystem Restoration Feasibility Study, and the U.S. EPA's LA River navigability decision. So the plan was updated at the end of last year, and it's, I believe, just waiting approval by council. We also announced that the preparation of the 2040 water IRP process, the planning for that will begin early next year, and of course involve a stakeholder process as well. Just wanted to highlight also just a few of the projects that we've completed recently. As you may know, the Echo Park Lake Rehabilitation Project, we had our grand opening of the project about 2 weeks ago.
Wonderful job.
So that was a great event. We're very pleased with the project. I think it's one of the examples of one of our larger scale projects. We're taking urban water, restoring a park, restored the lotus at the park for the park users, implemented some BMPs such as urban wetlands constructed wetlands within the Echo Park Lake. So we're glad to be able to reopen that park for the use of the community. For upcoming projects, one of those that I'm sure you're aware of is the Albion River Park that we have been working on with through your office with your staff, Lupe and Jill. Just as you know, the project is to restore, to convert a former dairy facility into an urban park. So the old facility has been cleaned out. The site has been remediated and will be proceeding into design very soon. So we look forward to being able to take urban runoff that would otherwise be discharged into the river and actually taking that, treating it, making some beneficial uses of it through the park, through irrigation or some other uses that would reduce our demand on potable water.
Is this like a larger version of the Greenway?
Yes, basically a larger scale version of that.
Okay, wow.
And
when do you think that construction begins?
Well, we'll be proceeding to design within the second half of this year. So the design process itself will probably take at least a year, and then a year and a half, and then we'll have to go through the bid and award and then construction process. So we are still a little ways away, but we've made our first major steps as far as acquiring the property, cleaning up the property, and now proceeding into design.
So probably the end of 2014?
Where were we? Into construction? Probably not that soon.
2015?
I would hope by 2015.
Okay.
But that's just my seat of the pants estimate right now.
I have a funny feeling I'll be driving along there quite a bit.
So we look forward to having you there when we open the park.
Great.
And then, of course, lastly, just want to note that early this morning, we had the opportunity to open or dedicate the site for the Ed P. Reyes River Greenway. Again, as Mike has mentioned, maybe a smaller scale project, but it's an example of an opportunity to take advantage of sites within the city where we can capture runoff and that would otherwise be directly discharged into the river, clean up the pollutants, make some beneficial uses out of it that would benefit not only our water quality, but also benefit the community through creation of open space and recreational opportunities.
Well, it's great to have the city family there. It was really good. It's a real good feeling, along with my own immediate family. So it was a nice gathering, and I thank you all for being there. And it's a wonderful celebration. Thank you so much.
Very welcome. And I just wanted to, just conclude by saying, these are just types of projects that we in sanitation have been able to undertake, largely, through some of the guidance and vision of the committee and yourself as the chair of the LA River Ad Hoc. So we appreciate the guidance and inspiration you provided to us, giving us confidence to move forward on these types of projects, and knowing that they'll be encouraged and received by yourself and the community for the use. So we're very pleased that we can provide that service to the public. Thank you.
My gut tells me that other council members are going to be carrying the flag, if you will, and there's focus now. And I think the moment we begin to equate either a savings for the general fund or a gain for the general fund, and how the ancillary uses become more viable, like the local properties, the validity of this experience that you all have been sharing is going to be resounding in how we form future policy. So, and that's because of your hard work. So again, thank you. Thank you, sir.
And next we have John Kobinski with the Department of Recreation and Parks.
How you doing?
Good afternoon, sir. So I guess I'll repeat my name, John Kobinski, Recreation and Parks. And I just have a very brief report for you. And first of all, appreciation of your recognition of our very limited role from Rec and Parks with the development of the Recreation Zone project. And our formal participation really ceased on Memorial Day when that really nice inaugural event took place, and we kind of literally launched the program into operation. But on a more informal basis, the program is carrying on. It's I think it's really a testament to the thought that went into the design, that it's quiet. I came before the committee a long time ago, and as a safety person, I was one of those people with the very deep concerns about the boating in the LA River and all the issues, the doomsday scenarios, and I think the fact that none of those have been realized, that it's actually been just an asset to the community, has not only brought an awareness, but also has kind of brought a recognition that the recreational aspect of the river can coexist with the flood control aspect.
Right.
It can work. And I would say on my behalf, your wisdom kind of overruled my initial skepticism, but the program is working well, and the primary program in the Sepulveda Basin is carrying on as well.
Great.
So I think that the basic overview or the basic concept here is that things are proceeding nicely in terms of expanding the recreational opportunities here within the city. And I just want to thank you for that vision, and I want to thank you again on behalf of Rec and Parks for understanding we had a very intricate kind of concern about some of these things, and all of that I think played out very nicely. So again, I want to thank you very much for your wisdom.
Well, if Lupe Vela and Jill hadn't been such strong warriors at the outset and slugged away at all these concerns, and rightfully so. I mean, very good reasons to be concerned. To overcome them is a major step. Speaking from experience, it's okay to get in the water and come out. I went in one of the kayaks and I actually fell in, and I got pulled back into it. And this is up in the valley. And I promised myself I wouldn't talk about it. I was so embarrassed. But, but the truth is, it wasn't that bad. But I did take a long shower that night. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And once you get past that phobia with the water, it's a lot of fun. So kudos to you. We just opened up a giant pool for the whole city. I shouldn't say that, huh? A river, because it's a river and it needs to be respected and it has a lot to it. And I just hope we can coexist with the flora and fauna and the wildlife that's there and respect it for what it is. And it's going to be a great opportunity. So thank you. Thank you for taking that risk, because I could sense the doubt and the concern, and it was rightfully so. But I appreciate your honesty and how you feel today, and I think it's going to keep going.
I do too. Thank you. I think it's well launched, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Okay.
I'd like to recommend a note and file for any reports on file for this
Okay.
item.
We'll note and file.
That leaves you with the last item, presentation and certificates of appreciation.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is go through these certificates, and again, this is just one small way of saying thank you. If I miss somebody, then I'm going to have to hand draw them myself, because I won't have access to the lithographic department that we have in the city. But I think we covered mostly all the folks. And if not, I'll figure something out. But let's just start, and if Jill and Lupe can help me, if that's okay, because you guys are the ones that made it happen. If you don't mind, Lupe and Jill, as a voluntary basis, okay? Don't get the unions after me here. So yeah. So let's call up Sharon. Sharon, come on up. The Bureau of Sanitation, if I may. Give a big round of applause. Let me step over there, brother. Step over there.
These are the words you want me to find? Okay, all right.
Again, thank you, Sharon, for being a big part of the team, and you all have been played a big part. But to me, this is very, very important, and I'm glad we got to this threshold. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It feels like graduation. Joe? Oh, yeah. Mr. Kobinski? There you go. Thank you, sir. Michael Afflot, Public Works. Michael? Gerardo Rubalcaba? Gerardo? Okay. I'll take a picture for him too. All right. You okay? That's my fault. My bad. Adele, this is yours, so we need a cameraman. Thank you, Adele. I call him the magician. Thank you. I think I have a picture with him when he was the Avenger. Do you remember that one? The Avenger? The Grease Avenger, yeah. Yeah, I do have a picture with that. Rafael Preto. Rafael. Laurie Hancock. Laurie? Come on down. Now, one of the critical steps in this experience was when we finally got this committee on the budget page. When it appeared on the budget page, then we got the attention of all the general managers. It's like, oh man, this is really going to happen. So thank you so much. Renee Curtis. Renee, you here? Thank you. Oscar Amado. Oscar? Thank you. If you see the poster, this is the artist. And I ran into him at the Echo Park Lake. And you were with your daughter. And I was congratulating him, and he tells his daughter, see, I did do something. I did do a poster. She was, I know, Dad. It was good to see you, Oscar. Thank you. Claire Bowen. Claire, come on up.
Thank you.
Deborah Dietz. Deborah, where are you? There you go. I'm going to... Eric Rodrigo Villanueva. Eric? There you are.
These are ones folks that aren't here today, and I'm gonna track them down.
I should put on my coat. Yeah.
You want?
That's all right. Okay.
Which ones do you want?
Megan Whalen. Megan? Where are you? There you are. Thanks, Megan. Can I just announce their names?
Sure.
They're not here, but I do want to announce their names. Jerry Mendoza from Public Works. I want to thank her. Jalen. Daryl Ford from Rec and Parks as well. Tremendous work. Kevin Regan, Rec and Parks, again. Deborah Weintraub. That's been Omen's job in pulling us together, especially with the funding. Robert Sines, CDD, thank you so much. Tim Fremont, okay. Power Transportation. Bicycle engineer, all right. It's Kelly, well, thank you. If you mind. And Wing Tam, your sanitation. David Lara says planning department is with building and safety.
Okay.
And of course, Enrique. Enrique Salom.
Enrique. See you.
Michelle Murray for DOT. Anybody from DOT here? Okay. And Carol Armstrong, of course, our doctor. Dr. Armstrong. I hope I didn't leave. This is awkward, but I'm hoping I can get folks that I did not recognize. I want to get your list, and I think I'm going to get a favor from the folks to let me do a few more oversight. Do we have other names we should include? Okay. Well, again, thank you, folks. I've been saying a lot of thank yous lately. These 3 days have been a whole array of experiences that go back 12 years, but quite frankly, really go back 20-something years. And the first meeting we had up in the tower, I think it was the 10th floor, and all the general managers showed up, directors, department heads, and we had this conversation, and it just started building up from there. But it really was the will of the employees, the will of the folks that made it happen. And I was just blessed to be in a position to work with folks like Lupe Vela and Jill Soriel and the rest of the staff in my own office, because they brought in the heart and soul, and they did all what it took to make sure we kept moving, and each one of you has taken a strong role. Arthur Golding is one of those folks that have been with this process for many, many years. I found our old Taylor Yard workshop meeting pictures. I had hair then and a mustache, so this river is taking its toll. But I do know that because of strong work that has come from Louis McAdams and Tom LaBonge, our council member, that all this comes together. So I've just been very blessed to be in this position. So thank you all again, and hopefully I'll be able to come back in another capacity and continue pushing this great project forward. So thank you so much, and have a great, great evening. Thank you.
Do we have any public comment, guys? No. That's it. Adjourn, yeah, I guess we can. Well, let's see if he's gonna, I think he's gonna adjourn. That's it, I think that completes it.
Thank you for this.
No, not a problem, not a problem. Tony called me up.